Hello everyone. I'm going to show you how you can be able to create this cool typewriter effect with blinking cursor in DaVinci Resolve. Let's get started. Now, we need a new Fusion composition for our animation, which we can find under the Effect tab, and now bring into our timeline. And now go to the Fusion page. And we're going to bring a background node, as well as the text node, and now we're going to connect the text node to the background node as a foreground, and then connect the merge node to the media out. Now select the background node, and then go to the Inspector tab, where we can go to change the background color, and then select the text node under the Inspector tab, where we can modify the different parameters of the text from here. Now our background and the text is ready. It's time to animate it. To make this typewriter effect, we are going to use the write on parameter. Now as we can see that when moving the ending point towards the left, each letter is going to disappear from right to left. And when we bring the starting point over to right, now each letter is now going to disappear from left to right. So that's how this write on parameter works. So now we are going to animate this by using keyframes. Now move our playhead to the 1 second mark of our timeline, and then put the keyframe on the write on parameter. Note that I'm using a 24 FPS timeline to create this animation. And now we're going to use the ending point of the write on parameter to move it to the left, and then move playhead over by a few frames forward in time, and now move the write on parameter to the right hand side of the clip until the last word of the first line comes in. Then we're going to move the playhead over by frames forward in time. We're going to make a new keyframe, but make sure that we're not going to change any parameters in this frame. Then move the playhead over a few frames forward in time, then move the ending point of the write on parameter to the right hand side. So, right now as we can play and see that we have this simple typewriter effect. Now we're going to make the blinking cursor for our typewriter effect. So make this blinking cursor, we need a new background node, and then connect it to the merge node as a foreground. And now we're also going to bring a rectangle mask, and then connect it to the new background node. And now select the rectangle mask, then go to the Inspector tab. Here we're going to use the width as well as the height parameters to create the cursor for our typewriter effect. And now we're going to position our cursor here right after the first letter comes out. So all that is done, and now we're ready to animate our cursor. So to do that, we go to the center parameter here, right click, and then a new menu pops up. From here choose path. Now this will allow us to create an animated path for our cursor. And now move the playhead where the last letter comes out in the first line, and then we have to move the cursor and place it right after the last letter of the first line. And then move the playhead forward to the point where the first letter of the second line comes out, and then we're going to move over to the left by 1 frame. Then we're going to keyframe the center parameter, but make sure that we're not going to change any parameters in this frame. And then move 1 frame forward to the right, and then drag our cursor and place it right after the first letter of the second line. And then move the playhead forward to the very end of this animation, and now we're going to just drag our cursor over to the right. So now at this moment, if we replay this animation, we can see that our cursor is following along the typewriter effect. And now as we can see that our cursor is not blinking, to make the cursor blink, we're going to use the level parameter node here to make sure that you're at the very first frame of your animation. And now let's make keyframe to the level parameter and bring it down to 0, and let's move our playhead over few frames forward in time, and then let's bring up the level parameter all the up to 1, and then again move our playhead over few frames forward in time, and then bring the level parameter down to 0. And now go to the spline tab. Here make sure you only choose the level parameter, and now click on this little zoom to fit button to zoom in, and now select all the keyframes, and then here we want to repeat this blinking cursor pattern. To do this, we have to right click, and then we're going to set loop, and then choose loop. So now, as we can see throughout the rest of the animation, this pattern is now being repeated. And now, as we replay our video animation, we can see that not only our cursor following along the typewriter effect, it is also blinking throughout the entire video animation. At last, here's the tip to make the effect stand out. I'm gonna using the typewriter sound effect. And that's how we can make this typewriter effect with blinking cursor in DaVinci Resolve. If you found this video useful, Please like and subscribe. Happy editing!